Hey Shug, it's Zach and Knock from West Coast Pop here to break down episode 7 of X-Men 97. So get your comments ready. And if you're not watching this live, definitely leave comments because we want to know what you thought of the episode. We want to know about Easter eggs, and we'll let you know all the special Easter eggs that we found. So let's get it started right here and get ready for episode 7 breakdown and Easter eggs coming your way.
Previously on X-Men.
And we are live, man. What an episode. Episode 7, strong start to a new rebooted series of X-Men 97. You're here, your host, the final boss, Doc, and the main man, Zach, coming back at you guys live. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit that like button if you guys have been enjoying this weekly. We got 3 more episodes left, and we know these are going to be some bangers. We appreciate all the support that's been on these episodes as well. So thank you for supporting these last few videos. We've seen those numbers going up. And of course, we're going to keep this going for you guys. But 97, more setup, I believe. We're going to see in the other part, not just Professor X and Storm, more setup now from the X-Men's point of view. And we start with the Gambit funeral.
Yeah, a lot going on here. We talked about last week that we thought this was all going to be a ruse or something like that, but he's dead. Gambit's actually dead.
Yeah. I'm shocked they really pulled the trigger on here. There's got to be some type of workaround. I'm hoping eventually by the end of the episode or next season. We've seen certain cartoons. I remember it was a big one. If you ever watched Young Justice, where a character disappeared and we weren't sure if they would come back. So it's cool to see them kind of tease that here with Gambit. We don't know his future, and Rogue is furious.
Yeah, she is pissed. So, like they said in the episode, she didn't just lose Gambit; she lost 2 this episode.
Yeah. And that's what we're under that impression too. I think I'm gonna give a lot of credit to one of our viewers. Actually, I think one of the comments last week, someone said in Professor X's vision, he did not see Magneto. So whatever
that was. I'm sorry. I was gonna say that was Mark of Excellence 1184.
Yeah. So shout out to you. You definitely got some insider information. Are you really on it? I'm appreciate you watching the show as well. Now when we get that reunion, Professor X has that tidbit of information. We just need to see them start talking and get that out of them with the X-Men. It's going to be a heck of a reunion. We got all this going on, and they think Professor X is dead as well.
Right. I was expecting either Professor X or Storm to show up at the end. Fine that they didn't, because we're going to get something bigger anyways.
Yeah. And as we've been teasing for that, what we heard going into this was episodes 8 through 10 are like next level, even crazier than episode 5. So we're getting to that right now. We're building up. It's a slow build. There's more action to this build. There's a lot more going on. I like this episode personally better than last week.
I agree. Big time. Yeah, it does seem like an in-between episode that sets stuff up, but it still felt like a good standalone episode that you could rewatch.
Yeah. So right now, the people are trying to make a plan. Cyclops is pissed off. He should have agreed with Magneto. He should have took a more aggressive approach. This is also kind of interesting, too, because now they're going to meet Professor X again and get that revelation that he's still alive.
Yep.
Cyclops and a few of the other people, even Beast, were kind of questioning the methods of Professor X. Was it false hope? Was it a delusion to think we could have this peace and coexist? Then I forget what character said it, but someone said we're kind of flaunting our mutant stuff in their face with this whole Genosha, and that made people uncomfortable, and people were working behind the scenes, and that's what we've seen here as that attack happened and no one blindsided. No one seen it coming.
Yeah, that's what's his name when he was with Jubilee.
Oh, my boy Sunspot, my guy Roberto with his mom, who had an interesting take on the information. That we'll get to that in a bit here. But now they're going their separate ways here. Everyone says, let's go to Genosha, try to do some damage control, see if we can find any survivors. The president, whoever that guy is, he's pulling all his support. He does not care.
Yeah. We'll get to support when we talk to Cap. Well, there's some comic stuff in there that we'll hit before we get to the Easter eggs. I'll talk about it.
Okay. Then moving on here real quick. As we're gonna get there. Actually, I think they went to Genosha first. We'll go there first. Before Rogue, takes her flight. She went absolutely insane. Or we'll get there. Yeah, she's going after these military bases here. I think the art style in these shows have been so inspired. I've been loving what they're doing. Every week is a great shot.
It is. Some of the standalone images, when you look at them before the show was released, look a little awkward, but when it's animated and it's moving, it looks so good. And I love the filter that they have on there. We talked about that makes it look like a film.
It's really crisp right now, man. It's making it easy for me to make thumbnails. I'm having fun making these thumbnails because how great the animation has been. But yeah, Rogue is out there. She's taking flight, gets to the first military base here. Um, what do you think of this is going on? We know Rogue is like next level pissed off.
It is. I thought it was really cool, but again, now you have to watch out because they can't just be attacked by Sentinels anymore because obviously these tanks are almost Sentinel-like in strength. So now you have to up the ante in almost every battle with the X-Men,
Yeah,
discovering her big ass powers. So
yeah. And this is the Rogue that has touched Captain Marvel, so she has that extra power to go, the extra juice. So, which comes in handy when they get to this first space she's at. One of the guys who might come and play later on said this was a base to withstand the Hulk level threats, and Rogue runs straight through it and gets to him.
that was General Ross, who is going to be in the new Captain America movie and possibly Thunderbolts. Thunderbolt Ross. That is
Yep.
the one who turns into the Red Hulk. There was a red light shining on him, maybe, saying that the Red Hulk may come in this too. But they're getting you ready for the MCU stuff.
They're cheesing a lot, man, and if this is like the opening to get us ready for MCU, X-Men versus Avengers type of stuff like that, or then mix it to the world, I'm loving it, and it's really well done. I think it's really clicking. But from one soldier that might turn super to another super soldier, we had Captain America make a cameo appearance.
All right, so here's the part that I just wanted to get to. Captain America easily goes the opposite way when it's mutants in trouble, even in the comic books,
Yeah,
as opposed to when it's his own team in trouble. Because then, damn the rules, damn regulations, damn the government. But when it's mutants, like, well, we should follow the rules and regulations. So
yep.
that's Cap.
You got a little bit of Cyclops in him, man. I'm not really digging. I'm so used to
Yeah,
MCU Captain
yeah.
America, Chris Evans kicking butt, not going with the Genovia Accords. And we got the real type of Captain America. I'm like, all right, man, this Boy Scout type dude, man. What are we doing?
These damn Boy Scouts.
Yeah, so definitely a true Captain America here to the origin, and that's why I like Iron Man better. But yeah, they have a little face off here, little tease here, and he doesn't want to help. He doesn't want to support that. He wants to do things by the book, like Zach said. I was disappointed in that, but it makes sense. It's comic accurate.
It does, and they can always pull from this if they want to do Avengers vs. X-Men stuff down the line. But how hilarious was it when she just tossed his shield into the mountains?
Yep,
That was hilarious.
yep. I love it. Now, how you gonna get that, Cap? You can't fly. Where's your bike at? What are you gonna do? You got no GPS.
His bike was
AirTag
out
on it?
there.
Okay.
His bike was out there, and the license plate, I do believe it was the comic that Rogue first appeared in. I think that was
Oh,
the license plate
nice,
number.
nice.
So
I love these little things, man. These little tidbits. That's for the little early Easter egg for you guys there. Um, yeah. So it was good to see the cameo appearance from Captain America. And since while we're at it with the cameo appearances, do you see anyone else? Is there room in these last 3 episodes to have somebody else now that we are established in this world?
they've teased a Spider-Man
Yeah.
appearance in interviews, but then we also saw it right here when we did the show that they put it in the newspaper that him and Eddie Brock are in this universe. So that could be.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, we could see this world is bigger than just the mutants. The mutant stuff is going on here, so it's cool to see some other people might jump in and see how that goes. Um, but yeah, and then here's the big thing: what is OZT? That's what's really popping off here. We see it on people's the military guards outfits, and we're seeing it all over the place here.
All right, I'm just pulling it up because I had it written down, but I lost my paper, so I have it in. It does stand for Operation Zero Tolerance. It is part of Bastion's
Wow.
comic book origins too. They touch on it with the guards and their little lapels.
Yeah.
That is, it seems so simple, but if you think about it from like a genocide point of view, that is one cold-blooded name for an organization or operation.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous, and that's what they're kind of trying to implement here. They're trying to wipe out all the mutants. Um, this is my first. We'll get to them later on, but this is my first time viewing Bastion on on media, not just the comics, like whether it's a cartoon. I don't think he's seen him in any video games, but a cartoon or movie. This is my first viewing of him.
Same here, so we're on the same page.
Yeah. So right now it's kind of we're gonna get to it, but it's kind of next level stuff right here. And Zach has all the info now once we get there. But again, great episode. We're going back and forth between the mutants, Rogue doing her own thing, and then Cyclops coming to terms with like, should we have listened to Professor X this whole time? Should we took that approach? Him and Jean Grey seem to be getting a little closer, which is good. He had a hard loss to mourning Madeline Pryor, who we didn't really talk about too much, getting lost in the mix. Um, and then we get to here. So Jubilee finally convinces Roberto, to tell his mother. And we get there, he has the butler waiting, she's at her study, pour out the water, the spritz, all that type of stuff, the bubbly. And his mom already knows.
I like this. This is a nice thing to put in this episode because it does tie in with like genocide and how society feels, and the stock part in there too. That is a very real thing, especially from the 90s or early 80s. They found out like your son was gay or something like that. It's a nice tie-in. And I did like the fact that they put this in this episode rather than making this a whole episode or even part of Life Death, because this is good and all, but like we've seen this story a little bit with Jubilee's parents and a couple other parents in like X-Men movies with like Jean stuff. So
Jean,
I like
think. Yeah. So it was a good little side thing they had, and finally get that, tie that knot in this story. I think Roberto is eventually going to just, go his opposite way, as he can't stand his family here. They want him to hide his secret and move, accordingly a certain way. And I think what he's seen too much. There's no way he's going to be able to experience the type of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Another big thing that happened in this, we've seen. So we thought Magneto was gone. We've seen Gambit is gone for sure. Madeline Pryor. But what gave Cyclops hope at one point when they made that landing was Jean Grey had felt the presence of another psychic. And what do you know? That presence of another psychic came into the form of one Emma Frost, who had her diamond form. Now I've seen this in movies, seen this in other cartoons where she activates this. I didn't know at this point in time that she didn't have that ability yet. I know it happens under duress, happens under a lot of stress. And she even had a line saying, she works better under pressure. She comes alive under pressure. So now I think, is this how Emma Frost joins the X-Men in this universe?
This could be. I do like this better than was it First Class, when whoever played her was just constantly shifting into the diamond form. I like this. It's kind of new. And I like your theory that this is how she joins the X-Men, because it's I think a proper way, that the old way that she failed. So
yeah, and we do know that party call Cyclops made with Madeline Pryor before everything went down. Emma Frost had a little connection to there too. She saw. So this might lead to her getting with Cyclops. Connecting over something, and Jean Grey getting pushed aside for my boy Wolverine, who's still a super side character. Want my guy get some action.
He's super side for now, and don't worry, we're going to get to another super side chick when we get to the Easter eggs. There's another one, not just Emma Frost in this episode.
Okay, there's a lot going on here, man. I'm good to see Emma Frost get a bigger role. I watched her a lot. She had a good role in Wolverine and the X-Men, which I think is another very underrated series. I'll keep saying it. 2 seasons got canceled by Disney because they bought Marvel and it was on Nickelodeon. I don't remember if she was in X-Men and Evolution. That was the whole thing.
I hated that show, X-Men Evolution, but if you liked it, leave a comment.
I haven't seen it in a year. So, it was like the show that came on when I was younger. So I enjoyed what I saw there. That's my first interpretation, I think, of Quicksilver, actually, too. And a few other guys like that. But going back into it. So, we're going to get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. I want to get to my boy. Where's he at? Where's my boy Beast? We'll get to it later. We'll go here. So, Rogue being pissed off. I loved the lighting in these scenes, the tone that was set. Rogue looks completely different. It's a nighttime setting, and she's ready to drop this dude. He's pleading for his life. He's saying all these things. Did you believe Trask here, knowing what we knew?
Not really, but then again, you can tell that there was someone other than Sinister working behind the scenes. So I kind of did. I'm watching 24 right now, and this kind of ties in perfectly because there's always layers of bad guys in a season, and this reminded me of that. So I did kind of believe him based on that. But I gotta say, my favorite part of this scene, not just her going with whatever she wanted to do, Wolverine co-signing the whole damn thing.
Yep. He's ready, and I love it, man. It took a guy, Professor X, to keep Wolverine kind of his savage side in check, and now he's pissed off, man. He's pissed off too. He's letting it loose. He's not getting none with Jean Grey. You know, his buddy Gambit. I think Gambit was the closest thing he had to like. I know he's close with Morph, but Wolverine can see himself in Gambit as well. They're both like the outcasts, you know. They're both like, you know, the bad guys turn good. There was a lot of similarities between the characters, and he just watched his buddy, take the bullet.
Yeah, and society's gunning for all of them. So, why give any Fs right now?
Yeah, and then the thing with Bolivar Trask, this is what I was really trying to catch up with because he had sent that video to the X-Men, tell him to come over here, just a secret way. But the last time we saw him last episode before it ended was being attacked by Mr. Sinister. So I wasn't too sure which angle we were playing here, if this was like before this happened or if Sinister set them up some way. And then we see eventually as Rogue drops this dude, doesn't give a fuck, looking like Batman out here, ready to, get all the answers out of him, then let him go. I love it. This was great. But the twist, crazy twist, we're now springing into action because this dude is a Sentinel.
I didn't see this coming. I should have, because of the whole room of like super sentinels that
Yep.
Sinister made, and Beast just calling out, how the hell did you get this technology? We'll
Yep.
find that out in a little bit. But this was cool, and this was great action, teamwork in there. And again, probably going to say it's every episode. Holy crap, does the MCU have a lot to live up to?
Yep. This is a tightly knit written show right now with the story, and I'm loving everything. We're getting sprinkles of action here and there, but the story is so compelling that's gonna get us to those big scenes. Like the build so far, 7 episodes, and I'm still hooked. Like these next ones are gonna be insane. I mean, you're right. Like they walk into the lair, and we see the futuristic stuff. So now I'm wondering, as we're gonna get to later, what is up with Bastion? How do they have all this futuristic tech? We talked about that last week where we thought, is Sinister the main guy, or is he, you know, being led by someone else? And now these answers are being answered here. So great fight scene, a lot of crazy stuff, and you felt the threat of Trask. Would you see that? What is like mutant neutralized, all this stuff, man. What it was incredible.
It had me fearing too, because saying that again, we keep talking about, all right, well, if Cable comes, then they must like redo everything and everyone can die, because
Yeah,
Gambit died, without Magneto died. So once he said threat neutralized, I'm like, holy crap, that person's dead. That
yeah,
person's dead. Wait a minute. So it's good wording. It's well placed, everything in this episode.
yeah, and that just goes to the credit they have with building this up because you feel the stakes, you feel the threat level, and everything's just right now clicking on all cylinders. Um, really good stuff here. And then, of course, we have the quick split-second interaction here. Cable and Cyclops. Cyclops realizing that's his son. He's like, "Oh no, don't worry about that right now, man. We have bigger fish to fry." That's so like Cable. You get the meeting with your dad, and he's like, "Oh no, we got to do something else." He's always on the run. He's never has a time to relax.
No, he is. I think he has the worst life of a mutant. Like,
Yeah.
period. There's a mutant out there that who like I think might have the biggest guilt complex. So every time they use their power, the Earth takes a hit. So if
Mm.
this person keeps using their power, the Earth would just die. There's a nice X-Men Unlimited about that character if you want to check
Oh
it out.
shit.
Yeah, Cable Man, always on the run, always trying to fix time. Can you just relax and enjoy time? But anyways, yeah, you are the father Cyclops, and then he says to Jean Grey, "Get out of my head. You're not her."
Yep. Like that's such a complicated relationship there, man. Because that's the clone of the person that's your mother, and Cyclops or Cable, like you said, always fighting time. I feel like he's always so lonely, man. Always just running from the next tragedy. Just like, dang. No wonder his hair turned gray so quick.
That's a good point. And what is the timeline that he saw that's so perfect that he needs to
Yeah,
fix? Because, like, I don't know. And everyone always jokes that we're in the worst timeline nowadays on like social media. But like,
yeah.
I just like how bad is it? And like, when did he see the timeline that he was supposed to live? So that's a really interesting thing I'd like to know. So if you know in the comments, let us know.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that, man. I mean, is there another sidekick that might be able to help him with that? Do we have some other information that I don't know? Again, 3 more episodes this season. I already can't wait for next season. Hopefully, there's a quick rollout for season 2. And then we get to another, like, I love these closing shots. Like we have the episode and it completes. then you have like the little bit of a teaser for next week's episode, and we get that with this guy Bastion, who we briefly talked about last week, and it turns out he has Magneto. Now we seen Magneto about to kill the whole council that had him on trial. We seen Magneto get identified as the Omega level mutant. We know his threat level. We know how powerful he is, and then we get introduced with this guy taking his time with Magneto, toying with him. He has him in captivity. He's not worried at all, and he's like being really coy with that blade. And like this was a great introduction, I thought.
I agree, and it was very 90s how you do kind of like a creepy villain
Yeah,
or murder like you would in the 90s movies. The music that he put on, Purple People Eater, all this stuff. If there's a wackiness to Bastion, let us know in the comments. Like Knox said, this is our first introduction to him, and we know his power level is a mix. We'll get into that. But when he was walking past stuff, the radio was tuning and some lights were flickering. So if you know more about Bastion, let us know. But I like it. This is almost like playing the Arkham game where Hugo Strange gets introduced.
oh yeah, Arkham City. That's a good one. But in that game, we found out Hugo wasn't the main guy. There was someone else behind the guy. So
Oh man.
we'll see how this plays out. Again, yeah, this is a very good way to introduce a villain. I already feel creeped out by him. I don't like that smile. I don't like the music he was playing. Like I felt very uncomfortable with this guy on screen.
Yeah, they did a good job of that. So this is him. If you want to check out this is a pic I took from the Marvel Encyclopedia. I sent it to Knock earlier today so we could both get to know him. You can see on the right his first appearance, Uncanny X-Men 333. That is rising in value as of Wednesday. So if you have
Yep.
it, double check it. Bastion is a combination of Master Mold and Nimrod, who you see both in the beginning get reintroduced. And if you watch the original series, they are introduced in there as well, especially in those cable episodes. So this is a very intriguing character, being a combination of those two, like ultimate form Sentinels.
Yeah. So that already shows you the threat level is through the roof. So this is gonna be a heck of a battle we'll get. Do you think, just too early to tell, but do you think he makes it through season one? Is this a threat we can get handled, wrapped up in the next few episodes, or this is gonna spill into next season?
We have 3 episodes to go. I think he's wrapped up in this. I think he's wrapped up, and that's why Sinister's involved in this, so he can weave through into the next season and possibly even the third one that is, I think, is for surely greenlit.
Yeah, he was already flexing on Sinister, trying to show his muscle around him. Sinister was asking like, "Oh, you don't know the X-Men? They're gonna be able to. We should have blindsided them again. Like, why are we giving them time to regroup?" And Bastion, being cocky, didn't think he overplayed his hand. We'll see how this goes, but he clearly doesn't view him and Mister Sinister on the same level. He's viewed Mister Sinister as a lackey.
He is. It might be his mistake, but again, Mr. Sinister made that comment about how you were a
Yes.
whatever villain too, and you can see here his introduction was 1996, so he was
Yeah.
another 90s villain. So.
Oh yeah, and that's what I think. He said. He was like, Mister Sinister, you and those other villains, you're getting your ass whooped the whole time by the X Men. I'm not on that level. I'm over here. You guys, doing your little funny stuff over here, but I do this. This is my level. And then Mister Sinister had to bring him back down to earth. But again, that dynamic is kind of shaky,
Yep.
which seems to be the case with most villain team ups. But um, yeah, great episode. I think. Was there any other Easter eggs as we'll get into this? The weekly Easter eggs. What did you find? Let us know in the comments below. Um, Again, to the people that been jumping in here for the comments and in the chat, you guys have been dropping some golden eggs for us. Like Mr. You said Mark of Excellence, I think it was. He dropped that shell last week on Bastion or on Magneto still being alive. So great stuff there. So let us know this week what other Easter eggs you might have found.
Yeah, let us know. Mark of Excellence 1184. Again, thank you. And before we get into these eggs, one little one. I don't know if I touched on it when Captain America showed up. His MCU music hit from First
Yes,
Avenger.
I heard that. Good point.
Nice.
Great point.
And then when we were introduced to people help fix Genosha after all that shit happened, in the background you could see Blob helping and Mimic. So let us know in the comments if you saw any more mutants in there helping, especially the ones laying the flowers. I don't think these mutants are just random. I think they are all put into place for a reason. But those are two that I saw, Mimic and Blob.
Yeah.
Oh, and Strongman.
Okay. Yep. Just like we said with Professor X coming back, um, so is Storm. Storm should be making that return next episode as well. So it's gonna be
Yep.
a big reunion. The other thing I forgot to mention when we got introduced to Bastion, he had cameras. He had like some type of what he said, like some type of thing on on Professor X and the Shi'ar from last week. So he's already seen that whole thing, and he knows he's coming.
What kind of surveillance company does Bastion own that he can be intergalactic with
Yep.
this, man? Get that stuff in your lawn to deter thieves, man.
So
That is some good surveillance.
I don't know what type of time he's on. Time being the operative word because clearly he's getting some stuff from the future. Like that,
Yes.
that's clear. He has some type of plug, some type of connection with someone in the future, which kind of reminded me of like that whole Vandal Savage thing when he was connected with himself from the future and helping his past self gain so much power and control. We're kind of seeing that here. So I wonder who that is for Bastion or how that's working out, which I'm sure we'll find out soon. If you guys
That
do
is a good point, and that could be the big bad for next season. Nice job.
Yeah.
I like that.
So we're gonna see some stuff. And then the other thing I just realized as well, where's my boy Bishop at? Is he still around? Is he still kicking?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd go back to a group of people that stuck me with their kid.
That is a great point. That is a great point, man. But yeah, Easter eggs. Let us know what you found. This one right here, Zach. What do we got here?
I had this picture set since they released the title of every episode, since it said Bright Eyes. It stuck in my head when I was a kid watching this. This title is taken it's not just for Gambit, or maybe it's not for Gambit, but in the original animated series, this is where Rogue says, "Remember me, Bright Eyes," and knocks Cable's ass out right there. So that is where Bright Eyes comes from. I had it sitting in my little folder of like pictures to sit on, and finally got to use it.
I don't think I've seen anyone mention that. I think you might be the first one.
Yeah, all right. I remember that quote. I remember a lot of Rogue quotes and a lot of Remy quotes from the 90s series because they got the one-liners.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did. So that's a good catch from Zach. Let us know if you guys might have caught her or something else you might have seen that we didn't. And then this one right here, this whole back and forth. I felt some romantic tension here.
I think Beast is going with the news reporter. I think.
The news report I meant. The news report I meant. Yeah.
Okay. This is Amelia Voigt, the other side chick of Xavier. Every episode is another girl we're talking about. Exactly. So she has the power to turn matter into vapor. So that's why I think she's helping out. And I think she was there. I don't know if she was there or not, but she was also part in the original series, part of Magneto's. I forgot the name. Leave a comment if you remember the name, but on like Asteroid M and stuff. She's part of his group.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm not too familiar with her. And then, I mean, Professor X, I guess what is this, man? I thought he was out here teaching people. I thought he was too busy for all this. But yeah, I bet Beast and the reporter, I felt some romantic tension there. Everyone has romantic tension here, I guess, besides Wolverine. But
said it's a soap opera.
Yeah, he was spot on right there. Beast, he was questioning a lot of stuff, man. This is the first time I've seen him like really like struggle with what is right and wrong, what they should have done, what was the correct path, and we might see him, start acting out of character a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, it could be a nice change for him.
We've already seen Cyclops break. The other thing too, before we get to any more of the Easter eggs. Oh man, hey. The other thing too we saw was when Mr. Sinister was mentioned, Morph had like this panic look come over him, and like I know they have history, so we'll see how that plays out. But he has some clear PTSD and like trauma going on.
That he does, but cool to see him transform into Quicksilver.
That was the other thing. I don't have the slide up there, but finally we got a Morph sighting of what he transformed into, and the Quicksilver was the choice here. That was really cool. And then you can throw this one in here.
All right. If you're wondering why Nightcrawler was doing the reading and why he had this garb on, you might think it's just because he's joking. So it kind of comes across as like maybe he's like whatever. This is the other slide here is from the original series. He did. Am I saying that right? So he does have the religious background, and this does tie into the original series. So I thought that was a nice touch at Remy's funeral.
I think I said I found him in the his original X-Men like movie debut. I think he was.
Oh yeah,
I think I found him there.
You're right.
Yeah, that's a good catch again by Zach, who's providing all these Easter eggs this week. And this one right here.
All right, they focused on the sad sack for a reason. This is Remy's brother from the damn. I'm blanking on all these names. Please leave comments if you remember. But in the original series, you can see on the right Remy's brother that he helped out. They summoned something that you shouldn't summon, and he helped them out in Louisiana and fight that thing. So Remy's brother was at the funeral, and that's what they focused on. This blonde.
Yeah, I knew the face looked familiar, but I couldn't put the name there together. But definitely seeing it right there in the original X Men.
Max, that's his name, I think.
Okay. My boy, the Raging Cajun, went out crazy. Good to see he had some support. And this one here, we put some focus on here. What is this mean?
So this one I got online. I knew there was something with the soda, so I had to look it up. And then, tons of places are pointing this one out. So I can't take credit for this one. Pingo ties into the Incredible Hulk. That is the soda that Stan Lee drinks, and then it ties into General Ross and them mentioning Hulk. So I thought that was a nice full circle Easter egg.
Yeah, it really was. I just watched this one a few months ago, and I remember seeing that scene. It was just hilarious, the blood getting in there, and then Stan Lee was so good at the cameos, man.
Oh, he's great. So good.
So I'm loving these touches. You can tell that people making this are true fans. I would hope DC would eventually get some true fans to make their stuff, but that's another point. But I'm loving everything we're finding in these X-Men. Episode 7. We got 3 more to go, like I said, and these have been great to review each week. So the last thing up out of here before we wrap it up, Xbox is teaming with, they're jumping on the wave. They're teaming with Disney and everybody over at Marvel to have a limited edition Xbox Series X and controllers inspired by X-Men 97. I would love to get this. I don't know where you can get it, but I'd love to get it.
I would too. I know there's a story on the wraparound, and I don't know if it's pre-episode 1 or what it is, but it's a full story. I think it's pretty cool. Which controller would you get if you got one?
I mean, I don't. I would go with Storm. I think Storm or Wolverine. I really like Bishop in the blue in the back is kind of nice. I like those type of colors.
That'd be cool.
I think my girl would like the one.
Oh, Jubilee one's a nice color too. Gambit, I'd probably take.
Gambit is nice. So I like this stuff. I want to see more of these like custom consoles or controllers. I would love if PlayStation did more of those, like just different things up, or even Nintendo Switch, like someone just having different looks. I think that's really cool, and like collector's items, or if you really enjoy it.
Yep.
The other connection too, you reminded me putting this up here, Rocket League, the famous one that was PS Plus that blew up years ago. They have the X-Men 97 themed cars coming to the game. Maybe a limited time. I don't know how long it's going to be, but definitely jump on that.
Okay.
I still play Rocket League to this day, man. It's a great, great game.
Capcom has a sale right now. I think it's going on for a couple more days. If you want to jump on that, I do believe you can get Marvel vs. Capcom 1 or 2 of those games. So if you want to jump on those and play a lot of those fun characters that we see weave in and out of these episodes, check that out. Those sales are up to like 75 to 85% off right now. So.
Oh, nice. Oh man, that was X-Men 97 review. Like we do it every week. Out of 10, man, what grade do you think you're giving it?
I'll give this one a 7.8. It was one of those episodes that I think all of the middle of Stranger Things are, is just episodes to make you go from the beginning to the end. I think that's all middle Stranger Things episodes are. That was this, but it was like 3 or 4 of those episodes put together. And like I said before, you can totally rewatch this. And I just everything was done so well. The rogue emotion and the cameos weren't overly abundant. The X-Men were the focus, so I'll stick with that.
Yeah, I love that the focus is back in the X-Men. We get to see the fallout of what happened in episode 5, Genosha. Seeing Rogue go ballistic like she did, and then we get the confirmation too with Nightcrawler saying that's his sister, and they went back and forth playing along with that. Still no sign of Mystique through episode 7. Still,
wasn't there?
Was there?
Was there? I forgot to put a slide in for this. So I have a theory.
Okay.
That, the lady that keeps popping up and was leading people away from the massacre last episode, the blonde with the glasses, she kind of led them right into the. I don't know. I don't know. That could be Mystique. In my opinion, that could be Mystique.
I hope so. I mean, she's a major character. We haven't seen any clear sides of her lately. So that'd be kind of cool if these have been subtle signs leading up to her. That'd be genius, actually. She's been popping up each episode, kind of like in the background. We know Morph can morph, but Mystique can do it as well. So that'd be kind of
Yeah.
interesting. Um, so yeah, no signs of Mystique just yet. Who else am I waiting? We got Nightcrawler, maybe Spider-Man might have a cameo. So let us know in the comments which thought of the episode. If you got any more cameos, and the big three is about to happen. The final 3 episodes coming up next week. We'll be here every Thursday.
Yes.
So definitely join it with your boys. I won't forget my score. My score, I'll give it 8 out of 10 this week. Really enjoyed it. I think coming off of last week being like a lower episode, this one like really got me back on track. So good stuff from them. Can't wait to see next week's episode. Zach, any last words?
Oh, just stick with us and leave comments. I want to know everything that you know. Knock wants to know everything that you know. The knowledge from the comics, what you saw in the episodes, your theories. There's no wrong theories. They're just fun to theorize. And we'll definitely hit you back up in the chats about it. So thank you for commenting.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. If you like these reviews, man, hit the like button, subscribe button. We're your boys at the West Coast Pop, bringing you the X-Men reviews. 97. Be back next week. Thank you all. Peace out.